humbled to be here speaking to you guys. It's a Chicago suburb sundown before a new week. Market July 17th, I believe. These are not notes or talking points. I'm just looking at the date because I was doing some writing. It is July 17th, 2022. And I want to tell you guys a short little story before I make a announcement on a decision I had just recently made in this very, very early stages of development coming to fruition. So before I get into that, back in 2015, I was attending Triton College in River Grove, Illinois, a community college, because I had failed out of my own district's community college. On one of my parents, my mother's side, I failed out of the area's community college, got dismissed from that college, went to a community college in the city, and this was about my either fourth or fifth semester in community college, where I decided to drop out of college. A decision came to my mind consciously where I decided to go back to college and went to a district where my dad lived because my parents are split, and attended that college for about 3 semesters. And all I was doing was in my free time, outside of using my time and effort to do good in school, complete the courses necessary to achieve my associates, was songwriting and actively and consistently going to the gym. And that part of my story will come into play later in the story. Will be a sort of opposite dynamic to where I'm currently at in my own life, which is funny, right? Ironic, for lack of a better term. Spending my time in the gym, training. My physique was A1. I was doing good in school, but in my songwriting, in my free time, all I was doing was going to the gym and songwriting, right? I was suffering from lack of substance in my music, from things that were only enticing to the youth and my youth that I was in at that time. Just lack of experience that I had, immature mindset, things that insecurities were developing into my music, which, looking back on it, hindsight, is the sign of any true and truthful artist, right? Insecurity was not being expressed in my music. It was showing in my personal life. And the fact that I couldn't express it or communicate it through my music, my songwriting was suffering. But my physique was on point. My training in the gym was A1. my grades, my school was great, uh, and I fell short um, one class, one course to achieve my associates. Um, 6 years later, I go back to last year in the summertime. I complete the one course to finish my associates, and I achieved it. Right. Um, 7 years go by. I am going through trials and tribulations in relationships with self, and I believe that you know through that time I was not creating any music, songwriting, or even in the remote area headspace, mindset to create based on going off the deep end. Um, I'm a very spiritual person, so first spiritually, uh, mentally, and now, which is why I find it ironic that I was in a good physical state 7 years ago. Now, 7 years later, I'm not in the best shape of my life, but in my songwriting, ironically, the substance is there, the content is there. Um, Through my trials and tribulations, what I've developed over these last 7 years is patience with myself. Excuse me, with myself personally, and a deep belief in my craft and my art. Um, to put it in simple terms, uh, these last 2 years, last year achieving my associates, a year later going through trial and tribulation, um, one of my toughest years actually, became conscious after my back being put against the wall, mentally and spiritually, first and foremost, right? Um, which leads me to the decision I made um, and the process that I've recently been in the very uh, humble beginnings of um, creating music um, as a one lifestyle, um, and two uh, career path. Um, I put all my wants and desires to the side these last 7 years, over this last year consciously, especially. And my intuition has told me over the last couple weeks, um, this last year, 8 months, more specifically 7, 8 months, I was songwriting and creating as consistently as I can, while sustaining my personal life and growing um, as a human being in my spiritual fortitude, my mental fortitude, my self-awareness, and my my personal development, right? Um, and although my now physique, which I don't believe is uh, a big concern at this time, uh, my health physically has suffered over the last year. Um, I've reached a point in my life where um, my songwriting is now um, in the beginnings, humble beginnings of growing and flourishing. I believe intuitively, um, reaching a point intuitively to really lean into this decision. And, my intention is, first off, I'm at a point in my life after, a very conscious year of growth, um, to either continue to grow or settle, and by nature, um, it's never been in my DNA to settle, with anything in life. And I can say that truthfully, through even the 7 years of hardship and trials and tribulations that I've been facing, that would doubt, that would all but lead to the conclusion to deter me, from my chosen path in life. And I've reached a point, a couple of weeks ago, where I just hit another rock bottom, a rock bottom mentally, where I had to step up and make a decision, um, because I came down with COVID. So um, facing that trial in my life, I decided I was going to just naturally happen. I have to say, organically, naturally happen, where I 4 days into COVID, I started recovering. I started feeling the healing in my bones and in my spirit, in my heart. I was just so compelled and moved to songwrite. And the decisions leading up to this point, um, consciously, conversations I've been having with self, um, led me to be in this space where I'm content, I'm happy, without music first and foremost. But am I going to settle and just be uh, content, which I would be with um, a normal life, or do I pursue what's deep down in my spirit and in my heart, to pursue music as an artist and a musician, um, and ultimately the decision came down to settling and growing. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been in a space where I've already been compelled to create. um, I've decided to create a project, uh, piece of a body of work. I'm in the process of creating, and I'm in the early processes of it. I'm still figuring out my process. First and foremost, um, and that's the decision I came down to grow. And the reason I'm documenting this moment and I'm speaking to you guys on this 7 year journey that I've been through to reach this arrival moment of doing what's really in the deepest depths of my spirit, heart, soul, um, mind, and compelling my body to give its all to, is this art, this craft of creating music, um, and songwriting. More specifically, to be direct with you guys and transparent, the hip hop and rap genre. Um, I'm documenting this moment because I feel the intent behind this documenting and creating of content, um, and process and updating you guys as consistently as I can. A purpose, a deep desire, not desire, but deep purpose to um, show you the decision, communicate with you guys the decision, the act of taking this very, very seriously, as seriously as I can, and to show you guys and document the uncertainty of the process that I'm going to endure and have dived into. Like I said, this is the very early stages of this process. And I'm so humbled to be speaking to you guys, and to have the drive to be speaking to you guys from a place of this is what the next 10 years are going to look like and be like for me. The lifestyle, the work being put in, and to document the growth of the unknown and the unknown ahead of this journey that I've already embarked on. It's taken me about 8 years of doing it as consistently as I can, and a couple life moments, things that happen in our lives that change the way we have perspective on life, and it's been a blessing, God willing, that both of those moments in my life have not deterred me to the former way I live, but the latter, not to settle, but to grow. And I aspire to inspire, whoever, comes along on this journey. I'll say a million things, a million different ways, and I just hope that wherever you land in this content that I create, I know the timing of what I say, and where you watch me and consume this content. I can only hope leads you to embark on your own self journey first and foremost, of growing and growth, and jumping with a leap of faith into the unknown with hope, and contentment and peace with that decision, as I've come to have, but also indulge and embrace the journey that I'm embarking on, as a piece of not just advice, but an example that betters your life. And that is my hope, that is my intention. And this is Jonathan Perennis Jr. I've yet to create an artist name for myself, but I believe it'll come out as just JP. And this is my decision, and I hope 10 years from now, when I hope to have made a mark somewhere down the lines and along the lines, through the consistent work that I've put in, I will be proud. And for those of you who are on my wave early, I'll make just as proud as you continue to follow me. I'm jpmusic on YouTube, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.